Exclamation everybody, and welcome to SimpleRockets 2. It's by June Drew LLC, and it's currently in early access on Steam for 15% off at $12.74 US, normally $14.99. And if you remember back a while ago, I did a little video on SimpleRockets 1, the first game in this series, which was a mobile game where you just had a bunch of rocket parts you snap together and you tried to get over and out to a mini solar system and all that stuff. And it was nice. It was interesting. But they have now made a new version of that, which is much closer to Kerbal Space Program, but with some differences and twists. The control scheme is very much one that you would expect for, say, a mobile interface kind of thing. But the difference here is that you have parts that are expandable and customizable and stuff. So without further ado, let's jump in, and I'll try to do my best here. Everyone probably knows that I struggled mightily with Kerbal Space Program. This one I might not struggle quite as much with, but it'll still be an interesting one. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by building a craft. I've gone through the tutorial, and the tutorial had me build this ship. So I know that this ship right off the bat is going to at least make it to orbit. Just barely. It will just barely make it to orbit. So given that information, I'm going to clear this out, if I can. It will allow me to do so. Somewhere here. There's a lot of view options, but not a lot of removal of things. So you got a staging editor, you've got your part list. Is there a way to just say clear everything? Can I just I literally just want to clear this out and start fresh without anything in my way here. I guess 16 parts. You can hide parts. That's interesting. New craft. Here we go. Duh. There it is. All right, and they do start you out with a little something here. But you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So I'm just going to delete these just so we can see what your starting thing is. And here is the command module, basically what you start out with. And we can go start adding parts to it. So there's structural parts. You've got nose cones and fuel tanks and struts and all kinds of fun stuff. Now I have what, $500,000. This is current price of my craft, but money doesn't yet matter in the game. The game, I assume, is going to get some sort of campaign or something. Right now, it's got mostly the sandbox and some scenarios that you can run. So that's where we stand right now. It's still very early in the early access phase of things. But let's go and do a fuel tank here. Let's go, and it's all drag and drop, so you can drag it out here. Now, the interesting thing about this is you can control how big a fuel tank you have. So I could give, the inner stage a fairly decently sized fuel tank if I wanted to. And then we've got propulsion. So you've got the inner engine, the Pixie engine. The Mage 1 is for takeoff and orbiting. This one is for I don't know. It's a high thrust thing, so it's probably for getting off the pad. And then ion engine, which I believe is for is for the orbital stuff when you're out in orbit. So actually, what I kind of want to do, I wonder if it'll let me do this. So let's make a relatively, because this runs off of electricity, right? So I'm wondering if I, there's a connector, right? Does this, I wonder if this, yeah. So first of all, let's get rid of this for a second. Let's put the, I wonder if that's going to work, because I don't have anything here. I'm not sure if this works or not. What I'd like to do is put the ion engine on this, but it needs electricity, which we can do because there are solar panels, but I don't know exactly how that works. I guess I have to put a, so there's a cargo bay, there's a structural panel. There's a fuel tank, and then there's a strut. So I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I guess I'll do a, I guess you have to do like a fuel tank, even though it doesn't make all that much sense for the ion engine. But I really want to put the ion engine on there, but I don't know how it works. They don't really, the tutorial is good at like getting you a ship that will get into orbit. Not good for telling you how some things interact with one another. Just like there's an interstage, which is used to split into stages. Which I'll need to put around the engine, but then side interstage, yeah, which we'll need as well. Cargo bay. I guess you could do it on the cargo bay. Like I could put a cargo bay on it and then have that engine on the other side, but then I still need an engine for getting me into orbit, or not getting me into orbit, but you know, well, yeah, kind of getting me for making an orbit for myself. I guess I'll let's put a cargo bay on there and see what happens. The cargo bay right there. Make it a little bit bigger, and then I'll put the ion engine on here. That even go on there? That does not appear to even go on there. Perhaps, what is that? Oh, see, that definitely goes right there. Okay, which is what I thought. It's like, it's got connection points on either side there. But, let's see if I can I put a solar panel on here, is my question. Rover wheel. Solar panel, where's the solar panel array? Okay, can I put that on? I can put that on the top, but not on the sides. That's interesting and weird. I mean, I guess that would work. Well, it wouldn't be very aerodynamic though. So I guess we'll have to forget about that for now. It's weird. Anyway, let's just get a rocket that will get into space for us. So get a fuel tank going. And let me get just a little bit bigger, and then I'll get the Pixie engine on the one side, like so. Then we put a interstage around it, which will break off and expose it. then from there we can kind of do a few things. I could put another fuel tank underneath of it, which I might do. But I could also put a couple fuel tanks around it too. So I think what I'd like to do is, yeah, let's do that. So we'll get a fuel tank under here. All right, and we'll make it a little bit bigger. And then we'll put a giant engine on it. Ooh, come on. That engine. There we go. Alright, and then we can go. I'm gonna do like a 3-pronged thing here. If I can. Where is it at? So there's rovers and stuff you can do. Which I might not get into in this video because it's one problem I always have with these games is that I have a lot of problems just trying to make sense of them sometimes. So this must be the inner stage there, right? Okay, because it's got the things on it. So I can put some side inner stages on over here. And then there is a concept of symmetry, so I can go and use the symmetry tool, and I can say mirror it on the other side, radial it times 3, which is what I want. So there we go. So it's 3 times cloned around the root. And then we can add fuel tank to either side. Go here. Have this guy all the way down there, and then I'll put the symmetry tool on him as well. Cool. Alright, so then I don't have to go futzing with it too much. And then we want it to be at least a little bit aerodynamic, so we'll put a nose cone on the top there. Excellent. And then, of course, we want to put some big old honking engines down the bottom. And so we shall. There we go. Alright. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's something. Sub-assemblies, I'm not sure. They don't have anything there yet. Rover wheels. RCS nozzles. To help us keep some control. Piston to push parts away from each other. I guess when you're separating. Command pod. Solar panel array. Which I could put on there, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's just get into orbit. I want to show this off at some point, but connect engines, odd pieces on fuel tanks. Huh. Okay. Command pod. Oh, there's like a command chip instead of command pod. Oh, if you're not going to have people on there. Yeah, the solar panel array is actually kind of interesting because you can control how many panels and how many wide, how many long it is. It's pretty cool in that regard. And then you've got the stationary ones. I think we're good here. The only thing we have to work on is the staging, which it does do automatic staging, so it might very well be all set up. So we got the engines down there as stage 1. Stage 2 is the inner stages, right? So those will all pop off. Stage 3 is the inner pixely engine. Stage 4 is empty. Stage 5 is empty, right? So we can get rid of those. Okay. So it should come off in three parts once it's done. All right, we'll just deal with this and see how it works. So we can, I guess I can save it as the four prong. Just do that, I don't know. And let's excel that, and we'll get into the actual stuff here. So there's a launch craft and a sandbox and build craft. Obviously you can do that. Let's do the launch craft. I'll just call it launch 1. And let's see what happens. Hopefully I can load in that ship that we just made. This is not the ship that I wanted. Where's the... I forget how to do this now. Undo flight. How do I load that in? Load a different craft. Here we go. This one. And there it is. Alright. So whatever craft is on your main menu here is the one you're going to use. That's a little bit janky. They really should just give you a choice when you get onto the launch pad instead of having it here. Like the choice is divorced from where you're actually using it and stuff. So I think they might want to work on that a little bit. All right. So let's see. Here's our launch pad. Our controls are up here. You'll see those as we go. Let's pause it for a minute, and I think it's shift to get full power. All right, and then space to start. There we go. We're going pretty fast. Okay, we're gonna want to make a gravity turn here. Now, because of the way this controls, you really want to pause in order to do it. So we're at 1,000 feet now, so we want to turn, I think it's like 75 degrees this way, and we want to go to 90 degrees heading. Alright, and then and then we can power down to like 60% or something like that, I think. Or was it 70%? Maybe it was 70%. Alright, and then unpause. No, actually, we still need to be the full 100%, but, well... Yeah, we're not into this thinner atmosphere yet. I should be full 100% actually. It's when we get to 15,000 that I should go down to, or reduce the thrust, I think. Which incidentally is the next point where we'll pause it and change our direction. So if you're used to a Kerbal Space Program where you make the directional changes with your keyboard, real time. As far as I know, that doesn't work here. It's all mouse driven, and you're really meant to just pause and take care of business here. We're at 10,000. I think it was 15 that we needed to get to. And then we can turn over a little bit further. There we go. Alright, so now we can turn over a little bit further. Pitch over a little bit more. And the heading of 90 is still good. And then I'll reduce our thrust to about, not that much. About 60% maybe. Yeah, that's probably good. Alright, unpause. So, what do we got here? No activation groups. Alright, I don't know what that's for. Oh, that was for... I know what that's for. It's for when you have the solar panels and stuff, you can activate them. Alright, our altitude's doing pretty good. So I can go into the map here, and we can see what we're doing as far as our orbit's concerned. And so far well, it's expanding. Our apoapsis is at 46 kilometers, so we might need to turn over just a bit more. We're at 18% fuel, so we might need to get going a little bit more. I could also, well, I think I should probably burn this whole stage out of fuel, and then we can separate and try our luck on the other engine for a little bit. We can tilt over even more and try to expand our orbit. So I think this is the direction of our orbit here. Alright, we're almost out of fuel. And there it is. Alright. That stage. And for some reason it didn't unhook the other stages. That's weird. That's really weird. I don't know why the other stages didn't unhook. It said they were going to unhook, but they didn't. So that's going to be a problem. But let's tilt over to 30 degrees. These were set up on the stages to go, but they didn't go. And I don't know why they didn't go. And it's dragging my butt down because they didn't go. That's weird. I'll have to look at the staging again to see what happened there. Oh, that's not what I want. And that's going to be a problem going forward. You got to remember that you can't touch these circles or you're going to have issues. So I can hit X to cut our engines because we're almost out of fuel again, and it's not doing me any good right now. Where's our orbit? We didn't quite make it. Once we get to 30 seconds to our orbit, then I was going to try to expand it, but we're not going to get very far here. We're at 50 seconds. Let's get ourselves pointing towards our forward prograde velocity. There we go. And see if I can make something out of this orbit. Oh, we're 27 seconds. Let's go for it. See if I can make the orbit expand a little bit. I don't think I am. I don't think there's enough thrust left to do it. No, we're just gonna come crashing down. Didn't have quite enough. We have too much weight, is what's going on here. You can see your orbit details up in here. Our eccentricity is really bad. It should be near 0 or near 1. Not near 1, near 0 or whatever it is, near 1, whatever. To make it back, to make it orbit. It's not doing those things. So yeah, that's the thing. Here's the gizmo sensitivity for the burn thing here. Lock targets, got headings, nav sphere, lock retrograde, translation mode, all those things. Is there a lock? Yeah, lock prograde is over here too. So you could even do it from here want to lock it rather than popping back to the rocket. So we'll just speed this up, and we'll go warp speed here 10 times so you can see us crash, come crashing down, back down to the ground. Oh, did I put a wrong? That engine turned back on again. Did I put the wrong? Engine on there? Because I thought this engine was the orbital engine. I'm pretty sure it was, actually. But anyway, we're gonna come splashing down like a missile. Until our engines are out. So there you have it. I can explode, I guess. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little more exciting. In any case, let's go back to the drawing board and find out what I did wrong with my staging. Let's get rid of that. End flight. Alright, so save and exit that. And let's see what is going on with this guy. Can I, it says build a new craft, but I really want to, yeah, here we go. We can edit this guy. So what is going on with the staging here? I thought everything was cool. Got these 4 engines on stage 1, right? Then stage 2 is the inner stages. So why didn't they disconnect? That's why I don't understand. Side interstage, blah blah blah. They should have all disconnected, right? And then stage 3 is this guy. So why did they not disconnect? Because these do work. They worked with the tutorial one. Because I wonder if it's. I wonder if they need power. I wonder if that's why they had the solar panels on there for power. Well, they didn't deploy the solar panels until after these did their thing. So what's going on here? Advanced part settings. Activation group. Yes, so you can have an activation group. So what is that? Just means it's part of group 1's activation. Again, you would think that these would all go together because they're part of the same stage. They apparently are not, which is really confusing. Really, really confusing. This engine went off when it was supposed to. It's just these other things didn't disconnect when they were supposed to. So is it just that I can't... Maybe maybe this has to be on a separate stage than the other ones? Let's try add a stage. Here. And let's put this guy in stage 3. When these guys come off together. Although they're not... This one's not highlighting for some reason. It's because it's already highlighted. That's weird. Alright, so we have that. So this first stage. These guys are second stage. Third stage would be this one. Right? And then the fourth stage would be turn that engine on. I think that's everything. I don't know what else I'm doing wrong here. Like I said, this worked with the other. Let me save this. Let me load up a, what was the one? Simple Beast. This guy, what does his staging look like? Interstage, side interstage. See, he's got them on the same thing. Engines. Interstages. He's got a lot of different stages here. He's only got the one side interstage. Maybe that's the problem? Question mark? Don't know. I do not know. Let's load up our four-pronger. And my problem here is there's not as much thrust as I would like, but then again, I did kind of mess up a little bit. These do have some giant fuel tanks on them too, which I'm sure is making it nice and heavy. What I'd like to do, if I click on this, what properties can I set here? So this has got, there's the mass, it's fuel, put in there, RP1, highly refined kerosene used by rocket engines, monopropellant is used by RCS nozzles, xenon is used by the ion engine. Ew. Okay, batteries used by gyroscopes. Oh, I see. So the ion engine was xenon. So it did need a thing then. Batteries used by gyroscopes, wheels, etc. Okay. Okay. Heart settings, buoyancy, fuel line, tinker panel, heart style, different textures we can put on it. That's an interesting one. So this is where you change like what things look like as far as the textures go. If they're striped or not striped. All those things. Their stage is there. Why did this move up here? For some reason I moved it down to that one. It's not what I had. So I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on there. The game is trying to fix my staging, I think, but it's not fixing it in a way that's helping me. Alright, so we'll save this guy, overwrite, and we'll go back. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. I want to go load this guy. There we go. Alright, now we can go launch the craft. Alright, so that there is like a launch button there, it just wasn't immediately obvious. Alright, well, this 4 stages, engines, okay. Well, let's see if this one's a little more successful. And there we go. Alright, get to 1,000 and start our turn. So we'll start to tip over 75 and make sure we're at a heading of 90 here. Alright, that should be good. I think at 10,000 I'll tip over just a little bit more, maybe, and then at 15 we'll throttle back. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I don't remember. I could go through the tutorial again and it'll jog my memory, but that seems like what you're supposed to do, or at least I'll go to 15 anyway, and then just do the full tilt over a little bit more. thing and throttle back a little bit. Maybe I'll throttle back to 70% instead of 60. Maybe that was what I did wrong. I don't know. Alright, and stop there. We'll go throttle back to 70%, which is a lot harder than it seems. There we go. And we'll pitch over to 45 degrees and see how that works for us. And unpause. What is it looking like out here? Are we making an orbit? Or something resembling an orbit? Well, it's expanding outwards. So we are doing something. We're doing something that's potentially correct. Seems like the fuel is lasting longer this time around. It seems like maybe I'm just being overly optimistic in my assessment here. And I think we go and we just burn until the fuel is gone, and then do our staging. Hopefully it works this time. It is early access, so you know there's going to be bugs. Alright, well that certainly broke off, but it didn't break the thing. So the staging went, it just didn't, like the bolts exploded off there, but nothing separated, which is really weird. Really, really weird, unless I didn't mount these properly, but, which is entirely possible. Doing here this up to 178 kilometers. All right, we're only at 11% fuel on this though, so let's kill that engine. Once it gets to 10%, maybe do like a little burn just to help out a little bit, and then I'll kill the engine. There we go. At 10%, we'll kill the engine. We'll lock ourselves prograde, and then when we get within 30 seconds of the apoapsis, we'll do a full burn prograde and hopefully get a little bit more. Well, we got a little bit more distance from where we I think that symbol means where we died the first time, so I think we got a little bit more distance anyway because we were in the water there, right? Is that what that says? Select player, yeah, destroyed a craft, yeah, craft 3 there. Oh, this has got all kinds of symbols and stuff on it. Oh, I guess that's if I wanted to do orbit transfer and stuff. Okay. Hopefully I didn't actually do anything there. Can I just remove that? Ooh, that's not really what I want to see. I want to see... Oh, and we're already past our freaking thing here again. What is it? 100%. Waited too long again. 16 seconds there. Altitude still climbing, but not enough to make an orbit. Yeah, okay, I gotta go back to the drawing board on this thing, I would say. Auto burn. Oh, I see. I could put a burn node on there that's at a certain point so I don't miss the burn. Well, that's good. I probably should have done that, but I didn't know that was a thing. They didn't tell me that was a thing in the tutorial. I made you do it on your own. So it's still... the orbit's still pushing out, but not enough. Not pushing out enough. We're not making enough headway here. So that would be another failure, friends. That would be another failure. Let's go warp speed 100 times. And then we'll get back into the atmosphere here. Now there is, you can turn on, I don't have it on, but you can turn on damage from, what's we call it, the re-entry. You can turn on re-entry damage if you want. So I have it off right now. It defaults to off, but it is certainly something you can do. And we crashed into a lovely sand dune. Having a nice, have a nice picnic with that sand dune now. A picnic in hell with that sand dune. All right, so less than successful, and this is about how well it went with. Actually, I'm doing better here than I did in Kerbal Space Program, which has got to tell you something. So why don't these actually separate like I tell them to? Are they connected to? Are they not connected to the thing? Like they should be connected. This is what's bothering me. Is it not that are they just not connected to this thing like they're supposed to be? Maybe they were connected down the bottom? That might have been what it was. They probably, because it looked like they had connection points down the bottom. I bet, oh see, now they're actually separate. Yeah, they probably were connected down the bottom and that's what was going on. Ew. That's a little bit weird. They're going to have to do something about that, I think. Okay. So, let's just keep refining this. Now, what I'd like to do is put the solar panels on here, but we got too many things. Too many things going on. Because I could put some solar panels on there. I wonder if I could put them... because this whole stage stays with me, right? Yeah, this is the stage that disconnects. I wonder if I can slide them in there. Let's go, where are you at? Solar panel array. Can I get you in a position where you won't interfere with anything? Okay, so we'll put you there. One of you there. And we'll put the other one over here. And another one over here. There we go. Alright, it may not be entirely symmetrical, but it's something. I just want to show it off really more than anything else. So what I can do now is, now I got that, I can go into properties and I can say how big I want the solar panel to be, because this is a fold out one. You can see where it's at there. I can say I want just how many rows I want. I can say I want 4 rows, and how wide I want it to be. So I can say I want, 1 wide. So 4 rows, 1 wide. Here's our deployment speed and size, overall size of the part, and all those things. So it's kind of cool in that regard. And that also has an activation group of solar panels, so we can activate it when we go down the bottom there. And I believe I need to do the same thing on all of these, right? So it's 1 row, or I'm sorry, 4 rows. And of 1. And this one is 4 rows of 1. Sliders are a little bit sticky, so they don't smoothly move around when you're clicking and dragging, so hopefully they'll fix that a little bit. I think that's every one of them, right? Every one of them correct here. Okay, so I think I fixed the problem. I think I fixed the problem. I may be lying to myself, but let's go and launch this puppy. You don't have to worry about things tipping over like you did in Kerbal Space Program, at least not yet, so that's nice. Okay, so throttle up, and away we go. So, same as before, until 5,000 meters, and then we'll start our gravity turn, and then go all the way to 15, and gravity turn a little bit more, and throttle down. So far, so good. Well, it feels like we're tipping over even without me doing anything. Alright, pause that. And yeah, we are actually slightly tipping over without me doing anything. Let's get our pitch to 75 degrees that way. And our heading to 090. And unpause. Alright, so far so good. So then the activation group will show up down here when I'm able to activate it. I guess I could... Well, no, we're almost at 15 now. Alright, we're at 15 now, so let's tip over to 45. Like that. And we'll reduce our thrust to 70% or thereabouts. There we go. Alright. And continue. And we should be making a nice little beginnings of an orbit. At least we're making it past this, making it over to another continent anyway. And that's spreading the love there, and we're getting some nice views. We've got 23% fuel left. This too looks like it's doing all right. We are tipping over quite a bit more than we were before. Even though I have it set for 45, it's, you can see our forward thrust is this way. Our forward vector is this way. Alright, let's see if the staging works now. So we use up the fuel. Haha! Success! There we go. Much better. And more fuel now. It was counting the fuel incorrectly because it was still... everything was still attached. There we go. That's getting us some altitude now. Zoom in a little bit on our craft here. Right, and let's see how we're doing here. Okay, we got an orbit showing up, which is nice. So what I'll do is I'll burn until we get to, we'll say 70, well, we'll say maybe 85% left. And I'll cut the engine. We'll go tilt ourselves forward and wait until 30 seconds before the apoapsis and try to expand our orbit. I mean, I might be going a little too much on this burn, but I want to get at least some kind of movement here. Alright, there's 85%. Let's tilt forward. Like so. And let's keep an eye on this green arrow. At some point it'll give me, so I wish, so you can't put like a thing on there to say do your burn now, but they don't give you the time. Like they say you have to do it when you're 30 seconds from it, but it's like they don't actually give me the time here as to where I'm at until it actually gets pretty close. So like see until you're within 90 seconds. So like if I could put something like here or something, if I knew that was 30 seconds from it, that would work out a lot better. But in any case, we're going to, I mean, is there a way, orbit details, options, aircraft map view? No, there's not really a way there. So we're at 60 seconds. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I wish I could keep this on screen and I didn't have to keep rolling over it with the mouse. Like if I could just pin it and say, this here. And I've got my finger on the left shift so we can hit our full thrust. And 30 seconds there. Let's get that going. Okay, we're thrusting with the orbit now. It looks like maybe I didn't get high enough in my orbit. Because this is not going up. Our altitude is not increasing, which is not very good. If I was doing it right, our altitude would be increasing because our orbit would be increasing. So clearly I have missed a step here, although this obviously is the longest we've gone. Or the furthest we've gone, but still not enough to make an orbit. Our altitude's going back down again. Okay, so I've missed something important is the moral of this story. And it might be that I've just made my engines are, I've made too heavy a craft, probably. So what we'll do is we'll speed this all the way up till we crash with still 63% fuel left. And there you have it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to save and exit on that. And let's see if let's just swap out the engines for something bigger. For something much bigger. Yeah, let's just get rid of those, get rid of that. And we're going to come over here. And if all else fails, just put a giant freaking engine on it. And that is what I'm going to do. Okay, that's got huge thrust. Holy crap, look at that. Look at that puppy. Okay, he's got a huge thrust. And I'm going to need to make a bigger fuel tank, I think, for this puppy. Okay, and then let's grab our... Can I grab the engine here? I want the engine. I just want the engine. I just want the engine. That's all I want. Is the engine. Please just give me the engine back. Here we go. That's interesting. All right. I'll do this, and we'll do that. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll have this smaller thrusters up here again, like so. And oh, you know what? If I really want to get into orbit, maybe I should go balls to the wall here. Let's see how crazy I can be here. Let's go this guy right there, and let's get another fuel tank on the outside here. And have it come all the way down the same size. And that is off the thing there. Alright, so seeing that there's a separation there now, I know that I've got it right. And we're going to put a couple more engines on it. Because why not? I say, why not? What could be the harm in putting more engines on something? Where's the nose cone? Here we go. Nose cone. And we'll make this thing have a different texture on it. Maybe? Is that what I'm looking at? Panels. That one's striped. I guess I can only do the black stripes now? I thought there was different colors you can make things. Maybe it's... Okay. Maybe that's under the Tinker panel or something. In any case, you know what? Why have 2 sets of engines when you can have 3 sets of engines? I mean, not like we're hurting for money or anything like that. So, like, why not, I say? I ask you, friends, why not? I mean, we want to get to orbit, right? It's not like we don't want to get to orbit. It's not like we want to have another crash down, another splash down, or otherwise. We want this to be successful, right? Here's our mage engines on the outside. Let's do what we did with this. What was it? Panels, striped. There we go. Alright, this might do. This might do. We'll save that. I'm going to overwrite the 4-prong with it. And let's go try to launch this guy. Why not? I think we're getting to space today, friends. I think. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're getting to space today. You know, I didn't actually look at the staging, so here's fingers crossed that the staging is actually correct. I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? So let's throttle up and go for broke. And the answer to that question is no, the staging is not correct. And that's what happens when you don't have proper staging. I was just testing you guys. It was just a test. That's all it was. All right, let's go staging editor. All right, engines. Yeah, only the outer engines went in there. That's interesting. So what? All these engines are in stage 3 for some reason. So I guess we're going to go pull all these down to stage 1, where they are supposed to be. Okay, and then I guess since this interstage was actually technically working, well, yeah, I guess since it was technically working, but all these side interstages are not in the right spot, so yeah, let's get all these down into stage 2, where they're supposed to be. I guess I'll move this one into stage 2 as well. And what engines are up here? Now all these need to be down in stage 1. Thank you very much. It tried its hardest to give me the correct staging. But I threw it a curveball, and then all these need to go down into stage 2. Bang. Bang. Get rid of that stage, get rid of that stage, get rid of that stage. Alright, so if all goes well, I have done this correctly. If all does not go well, we already know what happens then. Alright, so save that puppy. Alright, and let's go back to Launchpad. Let's make this happen. Oh, game is... Oh! I was like, why is the game... The other rockets are still falling to the earth. I was like, why is it jumpy there? And that's why. There's still rockets hanging around. Alright, and... kabang! Oh, yes. There's some power. You want power? There's your power right there. And... alright, we'll pause right there for a second. Let's get over to 75 degrees. We are going through fuel, but we are making lots of altitude. So I'm going to say that it's all been a success. The sound alone will deafen you. It's pretty loud. It's pretty darn loud. Alright, we're getting to 15 right now. So let's tilt over to 45. Are we at 90 here? I think we are. And let's throttle back to 70. Alright. Now, one thing I am missing is, one thing that was nice in Kerbal Space Program was that the, it looks like the big rocket can't handle the thinner atmosphere. So that's just dead weight right now. That's not good. The one thing that I do miss from Kerbal Space Program is there would be like a little meter that would tell you how thin the atmosphere was around you, so you know when to throttle down, like when the atmosphere got really thin. This one here, I believe it said 15,000 meters is when you start to like throttle down, because it's, you don't need as much force to get through what's left of the atmosphere, but I could be wrong on that too. But I do know that they said to use up all the fuel that you can here. So I shall. I'm thinking maybe my altitude target for the first stage here is probably 100,000 meters, and then at that point you can probably maneuver into the orbits that you want, or expand your orbit more. So hopefully, I think we'll make it to 100,000. We'll see if that's actually the case. But all the fuel tanks look like they're all linked together, so it's not like Kerbal Space Program where they're all separate fuel tanks and you can just jettison one at a time when it runs out of fuel. It's since the fuel tanks aren't fixed, you know, and you can make them whatever size you want them to be. They look like they're all connected. Now, there might be a property under one of the menus that's like, have this as a separate fuel tank or whatever. I don't know, but again, it's still early access and who knows what direction they're going to go with it. Things have worn out. There we go. And I believe we can now move away from all that stuff. Awesome. There we go. Let's throw up to 100% on our smaller guy here. And let's see how we're doing with our orbit. Oh yeah, we're getting a nice orbit right now, so I'm going to cut the engines. And I'm going to let this come up to where we need to be, and I think we're going to get an orbit out of this. I really believe we will. So let's roll, brake, add slider, roll, pitch, yaw, throttle. Okay. Now I'm looking for this. Let's lock to prograde. And what does this do? It adds brakes, throttle, yaw, pitch, roll. Okay. So I could have different sliders on the panel here for all these things. Is that what it's? Okay, so I could control it here from the map, which makes sense because, you know, it's a lot easier than zooming out of the map and trying to find out where you're at. But I don't need that right now, so we'll get rid of that. Alright, yeah, we're definitely getting sky high on our altitude. Our apoapsis is going to be 779.1 kilometers, so I think we can go speed up time a little bit here till we get there. What is going on here? Why is that moving? Still moving upwards. The arrow is... Okay, well, it's a lot higher than I thought. Might be a problem there with that, because this is showing my altitude is going well out there, and I'm not thrusting. There's no thrust. There is no thrust happening here. And there's no line there. The line is down here, right? Oh no, I guess that is the line. Oh wow. Okay, I did make a crazy line, didn't I? So... that line keeps going up, and I don't know what. I guess because I gave myself so much thrust outside of the atmosphere, I guess. So we need to arrest this a little bit, because we're going a little bit too far out. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn retrograde and see if I can thrust just a little bit and bring this back down. We want an orbit. I don't want to leave orbit is what I'm saying here. And this looks like we're starting to leave orbit a little bit. Even though we don't quite even have an orbit yet. But our orbit is so far out in space here that it's not going to work out so well for us, I feel. So let's get to at least that, maybe. It's not going to be the prettiest orbit you ever did see, but I think that's good. And then we'll go back prograde, and let's speed up a little bit. How's this doing? Doing okay. We're doing okay. What I want to do is just, I want to make the orbit actually be an orbit, is what I'm looking for here. Is there's still, oh, there's like junk still orbiting or something there. I don't know what that is. Unless it's just telling me, I mean, that's where we crashed at one time. I guess it's just because of the way the map is moving. It's showing that. Okay, let's slow down a bit here. We're 5.7 meters to Arapahoe. I guess we can go a little bit faster. So I wish it would tell me, I wish it would stay on screen as to when I'm going to be hitting the Apoapsis. We're getting really close and it's not like giving me a countdown. Maybe it's just the angle of the thing here. Yeah, we're getting really close. Oh, here it is, 90 seconds. I'm like, gotta be, it's gotta be coming up fast here at some point. Let's slow to normal speed. And then we'll go full thrust and see if I can circularize this orbit. Possibly. Should be able to, I'm high enough to. So high, man. So high. Come on. 45 seconds. 15 seconds to a burn. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. And now? Is that doing what I wanted to do? It kind of is. It's expanding. I don't think it's expanding fast enough though. I might have had to do it earlier than that. See, it said in the tutorial it said 30 seconds beforehand, but I feel like I should have been doing it even well before 30 seconds. Because it's not going to expand any further now. We're going to start losing. Right? Am I? Yeah, it's just. Well, let's see. It's still expanding, so maybe I'll just about do it. I'm waiting to see the. What I'm waiting to see is a periapsis appear. Now, whether or not I have enough thrust to do it is another story. We're getting there, kind of, but our orbit's kind of getting weird. I mean, we can always fix the orbit when we come to it. And there we go. There we go. All right, let's throttle down. So what's our periapsis is at 100 kilometers, and our apoapsis is at 1375. So it's not a perfectly round orbit, but we're close. So when I get to the periapsis, I can actually I can burn prograde, and that would actually make it expand it a little bit further, maybe, or I could burn retrograde for a little bit, and that would actually decay the orbit a little bit so that it, well, I don't want it to decay on that side. I want it to kind of, I guess if I go prograde, it'll expand it out a little bit more this way and try to make little bit more even. So you can do 25 to 500 times speed here. There we go. Very nice. And we're coming around there. I guess while we're at it, I do have some activation things. So I can come in here and I can activate my solar panels, which aren't going to do much right now because we're facing away from the sun, but it's an interesting little thing. Very nice views though. I like it. And we still have 58% fuel, so I'd say we did not too bad that time, although I had to go kind of balls to the wall to make it happen. Let's actually warp into our thing here and see if I can make this orbit a little more round. Uh, 2.1 6 1.5. Okay, so we're at when we get to 30 seconds again, I'll do it. So I guess burning at 30 seconds was okay. It just didn't look like it was going to work, but it did eventually. So we'll burn and then see if I can make this height more equal to the other height. There's 30 seconds. This height is not being affected. Okay. Oh, you gotta burn from the opposite side, don't you? So I made that one. I made the other side. So if I burn here, it'll make yeah. That makes sense. If I burn on the apoapsis, it'll make the periapsis higher. Yeah. All right. Let's do a full orbit again. All right. Let's come around here. And we got we could burn off and try to go to Luna, but we don't have the fuel for that, or the rover, or anything else for that right now. Let's get warp ourselves to here. 5.1. 4.0, 3.9. All right. Alright, now we're almost there. We'll do it this time. There we go. Now we're making the other side higher. Okay, there we go. That's close enough. What's our orbit details look like? 0.34 on the eccentricity. So we're decent. It's 171 on that side, 1688 on this side. Yeah, we're good. That's about as circular in orbit as we can get. And let's look at our craft now illuminated by the sunlight. And there we have it. So I guess the only thing to do now is to degrade our orbit and land, but I didn't put a parachute on this guy. I guess I probably should have. I could have put a parachute on it and I just didn't. I guess this will stay as a permanent satellite, and you can do satellites in the game. There is docking and stuff. In fact, there's a tutorial to learn how to do docking and all those things. I didn't go through the tutorials, but they were at least moderately good for launching and everything. So there's a tutorial for rovers, and there's a tutorial for doing in-orbit docking. So you can make a space station of some sort and have it fly around. And actually in SimpleRockets 1 you could do that too, with the space station orbiting and stuff, even though that was just like a 2D 2D game, and this is the first 3D game in the series. But yeah, so cool things all around. I guess we will end our flight here. There's also a photo library, huh? So there we go. There's our flight time, our altitude, and all those things. So very good. That will be out there. That'll be out there waiting for us in the vastness of space. But this, my friends, has been SimpleRockets 2. I don't think I can go back to the main menu from here. I think this is about as main as you can get. But yeah, this has been SimpleRockets 2. It is by Jundru LLC, and it is currently in early access on Steam for 15% off at $12.74, normally $14.99. And it's very early access. It's still 0641, but it's usable in its current state, and there's still a bunch of things you can do. You can also change your location over here, which I didn't do. So there's still more of this game to explore. I would be kind of interested to try to do like some sort of let's play with this. The problem is that it's got all the same problems I had with the Kerbal Space Program, which is I don't have the patience to to sit there and just constantly fail over and over and over again trying to get a rocket that works. But you know, it's I guess if I do it enough, I would probably be a little bit more of an expert in it and not making things that look really strange and weird like this. But I like that you can all the parts are customizable, and you can make sort of whatever your heart desires as far as the way things look and feel. It seems like so. Cool things all around. As always, I will leave links down in the description so you can do your own due diligence. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.